Oh, you know, the average British person, and possibly where you are as well, plan for getting rich and escaping the rat race, and retiring early is to win the lottery or the football pools in this country. Some people do. Apparently there's an app for it. Or maybe to find some Mona Lisa 2 in the attic somewhere and go on the Antiques Roadshow on TV and discover that they've got a fortune. Or inherit something from a rich uncle. All of these are my plan too. Except that actually this is an attic room. There's not much to discover here, unfortunately. And I'm looking forward to, in my case, probably winning the lottery. I think that's the key. Trouble is, when I think about it, first of all, obviously, not much chance of winning the lottery, or the others. But this video is about the other problem, which is that work is good for me. Why is work good for me? Can't I just, retire early and having won the lottery, obviously, and have a great time? But the fact is, a lot of people, once they've retired, or even after they've won the lottery and have had a few holidays and stuff, they end up feeling bored, lonely, and useless. Because it turns out indeed that work was good for them. Got some stuff here. Right. I mean, it's all very well to laze about on the beaches doing nothing constructive, but it just so happens that your typical human actually really would rather be doing something constructive with their time, and that's a bit of a nuisance, really. Now, obviously a lot of people are bored with work. I understand that the stats show that something like 18% of people at work are fully disengaged from their job. They're actually like zombied out and possibly not even doing any work. Just passing the time and waiting to go home. So obviously I guess they should be doing a different job, and they will be when the boss finds out. But other than that, work does supply some things for you. Money, obviously. Although once you've retired, hopefully you'll have a pension or something at least, which is enough, hopefully. It provides status. This is something for those who are obsessed with power and stuff, and also it's useful for younger guys who want to impress the ladies and all that. Okay, it's important for the male of the species anyway. I don't know quite how women look at that, not being one. It provides some measure of responsibility as well. You can be the breadwinner, you're responsible for your family, and the work gives you some meaning in that sense. Again, that's a man thing particularly. I guess women have their equivalent, but you get responsibilities at work, like you're responsible for doing a job well, you're responsible maybe for managing something, that sort of thing. That's a kind of a pressure, some people will see it as, but it's also another kind of skill, something which perhaps you wouldn't develop so well outside of work. And of course, with my job, fixing computers and computer problems basically that's a skill. In my opinion, it can probably be done by robots, much of it anyway. the hands-on stuff can't really be as yet. But a lot of the fixes could be done quite automatically, I think, by the computers themselves, to be honest. And so future versions of Windows or Mac OS probably will do it. Oh, it's crashed. Well, fix it then. It's the same fix every time, after all, in certain cases. Socialization. You get some social contact at work. Some people make friends at work. They go out after work to the pub or something, depending on your particular culture. Or they'll chat at work and make friends at work. Although a lot of people don't. And in fact, the average is not much. I base that on, funny enough, Facebook. You know, recently Facebook's been in the news for exploiting people's data, or accidentally allowing other people to exploit people's data too much. Fully predictable, based on their business model. But anyway, it turns out that if you have just liked 10 items in Facebook, that gives Facebook enough information to guess your personality and to predict your actions better than your work colleagues on average. 10 likes, that's all it takes. Now, if you have liked 300 items, then Facebook will be able to guess or predict your behaviour better than your spouse. And if you've liked 600 items, this is all average of course, 600 items, Facebook can guess your actions better than you can yourself. Okay? So you see on this scale of likes, on a scale of 600, work colleagues come out as 10. Right, so these relationships are a bit minimal on average. And I would say that's probably true. I mean, places where I've worked, the majority of the time, you go in, you say hello, you get on with your job, you say goodbye at the end of the day, and you go home, and that's about it. There's very little socialisation, though, especially in, maybe this is a London thing, because I mean we don't know who our neighbours are, most of us in London. People living in the same house in a different flat. Don't know. Never speak. Might say hello on the stairs occasionally. That's it. Not very sociable. It's not like we do the old traditional thing of taking an apple pie around when somebody moves in or something like that, you know. None of that here. Somebody says hello, they think you're going to mug them, right? So forget it. So yeah, work relationships are a bit of something it provides for you, but not much. It looks like in many cases, if that Facebook scale is accurate, 10 on a scale of 0 to 600 is a bit rubbish, but there it is. It's better than 0 apparently. I suppose a lot of work relationships, it is just sort of fake socialising. You're there for the money and stuff like that. You're not really there for being social, after all. And most places these days are kind of micromanaged a bit too much. And if they see you talking, they think you're not working, without realising, because these managers are dinosaurs. They kind of don't realise that if you're disengaged, you're not going to work either. You'll just pretend to work. But anyway, we're all going to be replaced by robots soon anyway, so who cares? But I think it's the case that many people make real friends when they're kids and at school and college and whatever, and they kind of lose the skill at work because people at work don't talk so much in most jobs. Office jobs in particular. They're big, anonymous. You've got these sort of cubicles which everybody works in. It's more like rats in a cage than humans, really. And you're in competition with your colleagues usually for promotion and things like that. And also you're a commodity as far as the company is concerned. You're just a factor of production, and you can be sacked at any minute. I mean, although many people take their jobs really seriously, if they die, they'll be replaced within a few days, right? It's oh well. Poor Harry. Oh, hello, Fred. Right, get on with it. That's it, you know. So, I think as a result, people don't commit, and this is partly due to modern management techniques, I think, and bad management in general. And I see it in most companies that I support, actually. There are some where people are friendlier, some where they're all stressed out, but there's not much socialising outside of work. It's more sort of likes on Facebook, and that's about as far as it goes, you know. But the things that work supplies, money, some status, some skills which you wouldn't develop otherwise, some socialising, and some responsibility of some sort, some meaning, as it were. If you win the lottery or you just retire or something, you're going to need these things. Now, hopefully, as I've mentioned, a pension will get you some money. And if you go a bit further than that and work on some passive income, you might even get some more as well. I've been trying to get passive income all my life without much success, but I'm getting a teeny bit. YouTube, wow. You know, if I get £10 a month, I'm doing all right. It's a bit rubbish, really, but there you go. But yeah, you can win the lottery, spend a few weeks on beaches, and you'll start to think, well, what now? Because we humans are never satisfied. We're not built to be satisfied. And what if you're not due to retire or win the lottery, but you're going to be replaced by a robot in 5, 10, 15 years' time? You might be given a universal basic income, or you might be thrashed to try and get another job in this impossible market where there aren't any jobs anymore. Who knows how it's going to work? But you're not going to be getting these things. You might get the basic money, or at least unemployment benefit or something like that. But status, you're going to be like a slob on the sofa watching Netflix or something, and that's it. That's not going to be very impressive for your family, is it, really? So status might go out the window. Responsibility might be very limited to the family only directly. Skills, you won't be learning new skills. You'll be vegetating. And especially if your out-of-work income is low, if this universal basic income, when they introduce it, is minimal, you might have some incentive to do some work, but you might not be able to. Psychologically, you might not have skills, you might need capital which you don't have. All sorts of things could slow you down. You're not going to be getting these needs met, and it's going to be depressing. Actually, you're not going to like it, actually, as is the story with a lot of lottery winners. They don't actually like the life in the end. They have to go and do something. At least they've got the capital to start a business or something, but they do find they have to do something quite often. So my thinking is that when I retire, and people who win the lottery are going to have to be thinking of ways to gain these things outside of work, because otherwise it'll just be depressing. You'll be sitting there, nothing to do but watch a movie or something. That's going to be very tiresome, right? So money, I guess I'll get from pension, passive income, maybe. I can work on projects for passive incomes, and that will give me skills. I can treat them as hobbies, maybe. As long as I'm motivated to do so. I'm generally not motivated to do much, which is part of the reason my passive income efforts don't particularly work. It's because I'm not well motivated. I'm naturally lazy, or if you like, I'm probably someone who has persistent depressive disorder or something, or just a little bit below average, so I can perform normally in life, but can't really achieve to my full potential because the motivation is too weak. That's me. But if you don't have that, then maybe you can push harder and get stuff done, and you'll have an exciting hobby, which maybe will generate passive income anyway, or a project, or I mean, I wouldn't mind if I had the money going on adventure holidays or something like that and seeing the world. But again, going by the lottery winners, it will get a bit tiresome after a bit. I don't know. I've no idea. Rent out rooms, I don't know, there's something like that could work. Like Airbnb-ing property, if I have spare rooms, I could do that. It's a little tough. And otherwise, what about socialization? I mean, chatting to the neighbours, maybe. Some of these hobbies will have connections, or there'll be connections there, and projects as well, I suppose, possibly. Doing stuff for the community always sounds terribly boring to me. Things like that, I guess, but it's probably going to be necessary to consciously socialise a bit. The extended family, I suppose, people like that, I don't know, whatever. Go around visiting folk, that's something, I guess. So yes, when we are all replaced by robots, or we retire, everybody, I think, is going to need some anti-depression skills. In other words, get some hobbies. Make yourself useful in some way. Socialise. Make an actual effort to socialise. And generally do stuff for fun, to contribute, to socialise, and to make some extra money. Because, sad to say, work, although it's practically compulsory, is also good for me and good for you, I think. Good for us. So it is. So it appears. Oh dear. What a shame, eh? And I'm hoping to win the lottery and just quit. Darn. I'll also have to take responsibility for myself when I do, and make sure these needs are met. Somehow. So, am I right? Do you agree? And are you in that position now? Or do you have plans for how to meet those needs? Let me know in the comments. Tell me how to do it. How you do it. Or how you're thinking of doing it. I'm interested to know. Okay. Bye for now.